Good day, welcome to another edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Eric Rose, your host, along with Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Francis Wills. And Fran, good seeing you.
Thank you. Yes, it's great
time.
to see you too. Yes, and we've had quite a year here.
Quite a year in Putnam Valley.
Yeah.
First of all, Fran wants to thank you folks out there for approving the Putnam Valley budget back in May.
Absolutely. We count on the fact that the public indicates and advocates its support for our schools as we pass a budget, and we appreciate the fact that people came out. It was a very, very tough day, but people came out. After 5 o'clock, we had 125 people come to the voting, to the polls, and what is so impressive are the people who worked at the polls, who stayed there throughout the terrible weather, and we were actually quite astounded at how we were able to keep the voting machines running throughout, and we were very, very pleased and grateful for the vote.
2018-19 school year will be here before you know it. July 1 it officially begins. Kids come back to school right after Labor Day. What are some of those initiatives for the new school year?
Well, the one where we're sort of with bated breath waiting is the Later Start initiative. We sent out the new schedules. We sent them out in the December or January to our constituents so they knew what the new schedules would be like. We're cutting the time down that students will be on the buses, cutting them in half in many cases. And we plan to start our middle and high school at the same time, which would be 10 to 8 instead of 7:10, which is a difference,
Sure.
a significant difference for our students as they start the new school year. So we have been working on this project for a couple of years. It's based on research that indicates the sleep needs of adolescents have an enormous effect on their achievement in school, their sense of well-being, their social emotional health. And that's what this is all about. That's what the Later Start is really about. It's about the well-being of our students.
So the high school youngsters will be able to take a little snooze a little later in the morning.
We hope they will. Yes, that's the goal.
We have a show jam-packed with information for you today. Our dear friend Pat Bellino is retiring. We're going to be talking to Pat. We're going to head outside and check out this new geothermal project. The elementary school children are doing their Revolutionary War encampment. You're going to see some great film as well. But before we do that, handsome gentleman next to Fran is Jeremy Luft, the Director of Learning and Innovation here in the Putnam Valley Schools. Jeremy, good seeing you, sir.
It was great seeing you.
Facilities planning.
Yes.
You're the facilities planning guy, I understand.
We do lots of things here.
How has that changed now?
It's actually been a really exciting initiative that I've been part of, especially for me, having gone through the schools and seen what the schools look like, and then having the ability to participate in a committee looking to see what they can look like or should look like in the future. It's been a really exciting opportunity for me to be involved on this committee, which includes both teachers and administrators and community members. So it's been an exciting initiative, and I think we're getting pretty close to having plans that we would be able to share with the wider audience. Our first major improvement is really at the middle school. That middle school looks eerily familiar to what it did when I was attended there. So it's in a much needed facelift, and we have a couple large projects going on in the middle school, including revitalizing our physical education space, creating new cultural art spaces, including a choral room, lesson rooms, and upgrading the stage. We're looking to expand the cafeteria and kitchen space. We actually currently cook the food in the middle school and transport it, in the high school, and transport it to the middle school. So a new modern kitchen at the middle school would allow them to cook their own food there, would increase the offerings. And really the most exciting piece is the creation of a learning commons, which is really a modern library, and opening up the space in the cafeteria to learning commons to allow for larger performances. I know when parents attend middle school performances, we really squeeze as many people into that cafeteria space as possible, and this new design would make that a much more comprehensive space and fit many more people in there. So there's a lot of exciting things going on there. It's not just limited to, our scope isn't just limited to the middle school, though certainly a majority of the work is earmarked for there. We're looking to create new innovative classrooms at the elementary school. We're looking to modernize that small gym space, which is a space that does many different things, including being used for sports and concerts and recess. So we're looking to modernize that space. And then we're also looking at ways in which we could upgrade our athletic facilities. So it's been an exciting time, and I look forward to having more details to share in the near future.
You know, Fran, when you think about your home, folks out there in Putnam Valley television land watching this program today, they modernize their home, they update their home. The schools need that updating also.
Yes, and what is unique to our situation is that we will be proposing a change or this type of improvement without additional cost to the taxpayer due to debt retirement. So it's not going to be an additional cost. It's going to be, again, the use, as I mentioned when I talk about the energy project, it's the use of funds that we have in a way that promotes education. And as Jeremy mentioned, what we're trying to do is create school environments that are in sync with our educational goals and our educational strategies. Today when we teach, it's not the teacher up in front of the room lecturing. That's not the kind of learning that we know is effective. It is not effective for everyone in the classroom. Children who learn that way, they're a small group who are able to just listen and learn. We create classrooms where everyone can learn. And that engaging classroom requires an environment that we're looking to create in the new spaces. And part of this process was directed and assisted by our former board member, David Spittle, who is going to become our operations director. So there's been a lot of collaboration between our director of learning and Mr. Spittle, and he will be continuing the work that we're doing on facilities, on the EPC, and so on.
You know, we talk about facilities, we talk about children, we talk about keeping that tax dollar as low as possible. An exciting project is taking place outside the district office here at the elementary school campus, the geothermal project. We're going to go out and check that out right now on Inside Putnam Valley Schools.
Well, friend, they're not drilling for oil. What's going on here?
No, it's not oil. It's a geothermal project that we have as part of our sustainability initiative. And Pat can talk more about it, about how we have looked at a whole district through this energy performance contract.
Now, Pat, this is going to save the district almost $500,000, I understand.
About $400,000 to $450,000 a year will be saved. Well, it'll be saved with that money. It's really credited because it pays for all the other initiatives that we're doing, like replacing windows, solar panels, new doors, really closing up the envelope of the schools to make them more energy efficient.
Oil will be almost a thing of the past in the Putnam Valley schools once this is completed.
Right. We don't use any oil at the middle and high school campus. And here we'll be able to cut back considerably on the oil that we use. We can't do the whole school, but we can do a good portion of the school in terms of energy with the geothermal project.
What's the history behind the project, Fran?
I'm going to ask Pat to talk about that.
Well, the board, in conversation with the board, we talked about, reducing the carbon footprint, again, with the initiative of sustainability. So we ended up putting together this package, working with Con Edison Solutions, to come up with a package of things we could accomplish and still be a net zero to the taxpayer, which I'm very proud to say this is exactly what this will be. This is not all these initiatives. It will not cost the taxpayers another dime. They pay for themselves, the savings.
Talk about a win-win situation.
Yes, well, it's also a teaching opportunity. One of the goals that the board made clear was that they wanted to see this energy performance contract as part of an educational process to help students understand what sustainability means, how we develop a green school. So this is part of a curriculum development process. There will be special displays so that students can see how much energy we're saving, and they'll be at each campus. There'll be a display, a kiosk, so they can read the display and see what our we're going to have solar panels at our middle and high school, and also at our transportation building. They'll be able to see how solar works and how energy can be saved. And that money, instead of going toward oil and energy, goes toward the textbooks, the teaching, and all of the activities, the clubs, the things that make this school district great. So when you look at what we're trying to do in our school district, how can we take that money, that funding, and really use it for schooling? And it's a whole new way of looking at how we provide educational resources.
And when should the project be completed, Pat?
Well, this piece of it here, we started early, as you can see. It's still early June here. We plan to have this completed before school opens up in September, to have this field back to being seeded, and it'll be ready by October for the children to play on again. But this will, like I say, be done probably the end of August if everything goes well weather-wise. So.
Well, as we've said many times, exciting things are happening in the Putnam Valley schools.
Safety is a paramount concern, not only in Putnam Valley, but in all schools around New York State, around the United States. We understand you were very involved. You were at a forum in Yorktown the other day with Senator Murphy, and there's legislation in the books that hopefully will reimburse schools for special patrol
Yes.
officers.
We're very hopeful that the legislation that had been advocated by our Senator Murphy will be successful, because the schools are in desperate need of funds to help promote the kind of safety initiatives that are being recommended. In fact, we just contracted with a safety company. Actually, the company is led by a former police officer from Yorktown, John LaPlaca. And this Altaris did a complete assessment of our school district in order to determine what our needs are, what our particular needs are. We were complimented in having an SRO at our middle school and high school, and we have an SPO here at the elementary school. We also have an anonymous alerts program, which allows us to identify threats. But there are other items, other areas where we do need help with funding to improve our access to visitors, to make that a safer process, to take a look at our driveway coming into the high school. How can we make that a more secure space? There are many recommendations in the report. The report will, there will be a presentation on the report by Mr. LaPlaca, and it will be the first meeting or the second meeting in September.
Okay.
Because what we're looking at is starting the year with that, where people are paying close attention to the
Sure.
schools. And meanwhile, our district is looking at all of our protocols for safety and using that report to help us with our building safety teams and make sure that we're using the most up-to-date approaches to lockdowns, to evacuations, to how we manage critical incidents in the school. And it's a very serious matter, as you know. The shootings around the country have really turned up this environment of tension
It's just
in
so
schools
frightening.
and anxiety. It's all about, we believe, the most important aspect is the mental health
Yeah.
of our students. And that's where this new legislation at the state level could be helpful, because they would reimburse for some of the mental health personnel you need in order to coordinate and direct the right kind of support for our students. You know, learning how to do a threat assessment, learning how to understand who your students are who could be in trouble.
Would you like our viewers out there to contact their senator, their assembly
Yes.
person, the governor's office himself?
Yes, we would be very happy to get that kind of support. And we have the resolution that the board passed, our board passed, is on our website.
Okay.
So they can see, so the community can see exactly what this legislation could provide
Okay.
and what we're supporting.
Fill out that form, very, very important. Now, you talk about the website,
Yes.
a more accessible website?
Yes, this is an exciting project. Our tech folks have been working on this for actually a number of months, almost a year. Alex Goffman, Mike Lee have been working to improve our website and make it more accessible. Mr. Mahoney is also involved in that project. And what does that mean? It means that if you're hearing impaired, if you're visually impaired, if you speak another language, that the website is accessible to you and you can read, you can hear, you can understand the language and know what this school district is about and what the kinds of information that you're looking for in the website. This is a requirement of the New York State Education Department, but we are above and beyond. Our new website will be above and beyond that requirement for accessibility. We're very proud of that.
And that will be starting in the fall?
Yeah, oh, yes, actually quite soon we hope to open the new website.
Great.
Another one of our new initiatives is that people have been hearing about is our International Baccalaureate program. We're well on the way. We've been recognized by the IB. Our application has been accepted, and next year will be the actual opportunity for the International Baccalaureate visit to our school to see whether we will become an official IB school. So we're in a candidacy phase, and we're hoping to make that happen. There's a tremendous amount of work involved, but we feel that this will advantage our students at a whole other level in terms of their college and their career. And that's what we're here to do. We're here, and this is what we talked about earlier, funding these different projects that are not directly connected to learning actually opens up the funds for the learning for our students. And that's what we're attempting to do. And we are very proud of some of the accomplishments of our students. Most recently in the science research area, we've had, number one winner of the WESF. This Sarah Broas has also gone to the International in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
We now have another international science competition in Oswego. Both Sarah Broas and Caitlin Cohn will be competing in that. So we have a great deal of work being done in science, but also in athletics. Naya Gavan is only an 8th grader, and she's at the States with track and field. So we also have, last night, our Metro Awards. Our duet in the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, our musical, won the top Metro Award, and that's Casey Dath and Miss Lauren Darubis, and they won that award last night. We're very proud of them. We have some of our 7th graders going to Carnegie Hall to perform. Ava McGinty, 7th grader, 8th grader Priscilla Fonte, Gabriella Lee, and Jane Sheehan will be going to New York City to perform on the 23rd. So we're still operating as a school here at the end of the year with some very exciting events. Of course, we have our Moving Up celebrations for 4th and 8th graders, and our high school graduation will be on the 22nd of June, and will be live streamed. So you'll be able to watch. Yes. This is the 2nd year we've live streamed, right? 4th year, Dan is telling us.
4th year,
Fourth year that we've live streamed our graduation. So that, again, this is a question of accessibility. Suppose you have someone living in another part of the country, or you have someone in the family who finds it difficult to get around. They will be able to watch from their home and watch their relative or their child or their grandchild graduate from our school. So we're very excited about that.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we're excited for him, but yet it's, as we say, it's a little melancholy. Our good friend Pat Bellino will be retiring at the end of the school year. It's going to be a loss to you personally.
It is a tremendous loss. Pat and I have worked together, and we have been just looking at ways to improve this district. He's devoted and committed to the improvement of the school district. Whatever needed to be done, Pat got it done.
Since 1986.
Yep, he's been on the school board. Yep. He was on the school board for many years, and in this role that he's had as Director of Operations and Technology and Facilities and Transportation, he's been able to make improvements that are visible in the schools. I mean, just recently, for example, our safety report indicated that we should have our SRO near the front of the building. Overnight, it seemed, he created an office for that SRO in the vestibule at the high school, right up front. Not many operations directors can move with that kind of agility, and his knowledge is endless and boundless.
He's a good guy.
He understands everything, and it's his love of Putnam Valley
yes.
through and through that makes this happen.
We talked to Pat Bellino. Pat, good luck in retirement. Well, the man of the hour is Pat Bellino. This interview is going to be kind of melancholy. Pat, of course, has been an integral part of the Putnam Valley schools for decades, and Pat Bellino is retiring at the end of the school year.
Yes,
Mixed
sir.
emotions, huh?
Yeah. There's, you spend a little time with in a place you get kind of attached. So it's it is a little difficult in some regards. There's other regards that I'm not going to miss it at all, like the waking up at being up at 3 o'clock in the morning, deciding on snow calls or tornadoes. Of late, it's been really an interesting last year. Let's put it that way. So
Where did it all begin? You were on the Board of Education for a number of years.
I was on the board for 11 and a half. I started out just as a parent, got involved in the schools through John Kleinegris, who was the principal at the time. Was my dear friend. Became my dear friend after that. And he made me fall in love with the district, to be honest with you. Just when I saw how huge his heart was, how much he cared for these kids, and he instilled in me that you can make a difference. So I got involved, and was involved on the member of the building steering committee, then became the chairman of the citizens budget committee, then the board member, and then I took a few years away from it at that point, and then I was asked to come back to oversee the installation of the new turf, and then they asked me if I would be interested in taking over operations for the district. So that's where I've been for the last 5 years now. So.
And the position now includes facilities, operations, transportation, and technology.
Yeah, well, we're a tight, lean district when it comes to doing things. So a lot of us wear many hats, but we find a way to get it done. So
Has it been a good ride?
it really has been. It's there's I can't begin to tell you how much I'm going to miss it. To see every day that you have a chance to impact kids, impact what goes on in your community. The nice thing that I always try to remind everybody is I live here. I pay my taxes here. I love the community that we live in, and I'd like to be. I live by one motto. I just want us to be the best. So.
Now, you grew up in the New York City area?
I grew up in the Bronx. I am and will always be a Bronx boy.
Okay.
So, doesn't
Bronx
matter
to
how old.
Putnam Valley.
Yep, from Bronx to Putnam Valley. So, with a stop in the Yonkers at one point.
And of course, Maureen is the district clerk in the Putnam Valley schools. Your kids went through the Putnam Valley schools.
Yes, they did. Yep. And I had the pleasure of watching my youngest be the second graduating class out of Putnam Valley High School. My oldest two girls ended up being graduates of Panis High School, where they got a fine education.
It must have been so thrilling back then, being a part of the Putnam Valley School when that high school was built, that high school opened, and that graduating class came through.
It really was. Eric, from a firsthand, what myself and a number of other people went through to get to that point. As you remember, that it passed originally, and then the vote was overturned, which was heartbreaking to a lot of people. And then when I ran for the board, I didn't hide it from anybody. I said, if you vote for me, I'm going to put up the vote again for a high school. I was happy to see it passed with record numbers, record turnout, still the highest vote level in the district to this day. And then, like I say, just to watch the first kids enter was probably one of the proudest moments of my life. So.
And the Putnam Valley School District might be a small school district, but the achievements that have taken place here academically, thespians, on the athletic field, it's amazing.
It really is. You look at, I'll use this year as an example. We have a young lady, Sarah Broas, sweet young lady, very dedicated to being into science, who just came in second in an international Intel competition. It's phenomenal. You're talking of a school with about 600 kids in it, on an international level to come in second. You look at our sports teams. Again, we're not pulling from a cast of of thousands. We're pulling from less than 600 kids, and we achieve so much in every sport that we have teams in. We really do well. We've had field hockey champions, state champions, already in I think it was 2005, if I remember right, which is phenomenal considering the building just opened up in 2000. Academically, we can hold our own with any other school. No doubt in my mind, we have some of the finest teachers staff, teacher aides, teaching assistants. It's a place that I'm very proud to be associated with.
What's the future now? What are you going to be doing with yourself?
Well, I've got a 19-month-old granddaughter that I want to spend even more time with. We presently spend spend some time with her, Maureen and myself. They live in Yorktown.
Right.
My plan is to find at least one day a week there, and then I'll just see where the days take me at this point. So.
But you're going to be around.
I'm 5 minutes away.
Okay.
Really, not going anywhere at this
We're
point.
sure we'll be calling Pat Bellino.
Well,
Pat,
we'll
what do we
see.
do? Well, again, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best of everything.
Thank you.
And as we said, this guy's been a class act for many, many years. We wish Pat good health, happiness in his retirement. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Pat Bellino. Well, Fran, the field is prepared for battle.
Yes, we are. The Revolutionary War we reenacted today by our fourth graders. This is our third annual reenactment, and it's always an exciting opportunity for our kids to really understand history in the real.
Talk about history coming to life.
This is it. This is when the students see what it was like to live at that time and what it was like to be part of this amazing Revolutionary War that was the foundation of the country we live in today.
Well, let's go and check out the encampment that took place here at the Putnam Valley Elementary School on a glorious, glorious morning.
It's exciting to see what the students can do when they see learning applied. When they've read about the war, they've read about the colonial period, now they're living it, and there is nothing like that actual immersion in that time period for students to really understand what our country was based on, who we were, how we lived our lives at that time.
Well, the 2017-18 school year will soon be a fond memory. As Fran mentioned, the high school graduation right around the corner, moving up exercises, and that first day of school for the 18-19 school year will be here before we know it.
Before we know it, and during this period we'll be preparing during this whole summer we prepare for that school, for that first day to be a perfect day for our students.
Going to have a little R&R this summer, take it easy for a while?
I'll try. There's an awful lot that has to be done to prepare.
Well, for Fran, we thank her very much. Thank Dan for all of his able assistance this past year. You've been watching Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Fran and I will be back midsummer, towards the end of the summer, give you a little update as to what's taking place. Maybe we'll check out the middle school, see some of those projects.
Yes, well, that is really, those projects are long-term, but we do have some projects going on at the middle school this summer that we could definitely look at. The art room is being renovated, for example.
So we'll check that out as well, and we'll
Yes.
be back, of course, after the first of the school year, wishing you all a very happy school year and a happy and safe summer. What's your wish for the summer?
I wish that all of our students have full enjoyment of the outdoors and enjoy nature, get in touch with the things that you do outside, because it's very special, very precious, and we want them to have that good feeling you get from fresh air, the well-being, and the health.
Have fun, be safe, enjoy. For Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Fran Wills, I'm Eric Rose. We thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Until next time, have yourselves a great summer. Bye-bye now.